to the writing section. And in writing, now many students don't know what is going to be observed, right? Just mentally try to be 100% focused here and here, right? Like what we are doing. Now in writing, many students don't know where we are writing and what is going to be observed and how to write something, right? Now in Ielts writing, how many tasks are there? 3. In writing.
In writing there are introduction, body 1.
No. In Ielts writing, how many sections are there? 2 sections, right? 2 tasks are 2 sections.
Yeah.
Ielts writing task 1
And task 2.
Task 2. Task 1 of 150 words and what else? How many bands?
3
It is for 3 bands. Task 2, which is essay, for how many words and 250 words and how many bands? 6 bands, total 6 bands, right? The target is like this. But how to write, what to write, and what to be focused on, right? This is also very important. Like we discussed essay structure, essay format, you will have a very beautiful idea regarding that. But the important thing here is also how to write and what to mention in the writing to make it more impressive and beautiful, right? Now, the very first point here is brainstorming. You know, in linguistic structure, there when we were writing 2,500 words essay, we were having brainstorm for 30 minutes, right? Like for that essay, 2,500. But right now, if that is 250 words, you must brainstorm for at least 2 minutes. What is meant by brainstorm? To think. Yes, just to think about what I'm going to write. Brainstorm. No. Actually, the time is also short. For task 1, 20 minutes, 150 words.
Yeah.
For task 2, 250 words and 40 minutes. 40 minutes, now in 10 minutes, 1 paragraph. Yes, 10 minutes introduction, 10 minutes body 1, body 2. But along with that, we are distributing it. Anyhow, the first thing in writing is brainstorming. Right? In other words, we say outlines, but here in Ielts, there is no outlines. Only first introduction paragraph, body 1, body 2, we have the whole structure, right? To get the best bands, and then the formats and those. But brainstorming, sometimes what students face the problem, or what they face the music, like the problem, the miseries, that they don't think about it. They directly start, they think like, about this topic. And when they write something, they face and they observe that we miss something important. And another problem, when they face without studying the full question, the next problem is here understanding question. They do not sometimes understand the question, they write the whole, and when later on they see the question, it is 100% adverse to their statement. Right? So understanding the question is very important. Next is grammar. Now in grammar portion, some of the topics are 100% important. Right? I have written my own grammar book also, which I am going to share with you. But and then few things are very important. Like the first thing is punctuation. And in punctuation, 2 I would like to mention it here. At least 12 uses of comma should be known to a person, semicolon. Like these are minor mistakes, but minor mistakes matters a lot. If you are having a desire of 7+, right, and you are making mistakes of this, do not dream of that. Right? Punctuation, the first target, and I'll write. Next is you have capitalization. Now, if I ask, if you are going to write any word after comma, the word must be written with the small capitalization, small letter. If that is common now, I mean to say after comma, we cannot. This is not must that we must start the sentence from capital letter if that is common. But after full stop, you start comma. So there are some rules. I must be written everywhere capital, and some other rules, week names, month names, right? First 2 topics, punctuation and capitalization. Many students don't know about this. Now, if you use furthermore, after that should we use comma?
Furthermore, yes.
Moreover, comma?
Yes.
In addition, last day you observe, right? Now this is plus point. Introductory phrases, we are coming.
Secondly.
Yes, secondly, firstly, thirdly. Many other things. Sometimes you are going to use before that. I'm also going. But this is important. In writing, the first of grammar after brainstorming, grammar portion, punctuation, capitalization, one another thing, which I'm going to also ask right now. Subject plus verb agreement. These 2 agreements. Like in a sentence structure, you would have observed that either my verb agrees with the subject. Earlier when I was speaking a question from you, I think mentioned every children. Now every child or every children? right? This is agreement of noun with the subject, right? This comes in noun. Now, noun antecedent agreement. One topic is subject verb agreement. The other is noun antecedent agreement. And both are, if I say they are 100%, rather more than 100% important, then I would be right. Because in speaking and in writing, believe me, many graduated MBBS students, the most talented students, like they are green, you are also grade 1, right? Like you are also graduated from engineering university, and you are graduated from University of Lahore. That is also great, right? And the field is yes, medical lab science. But what they face the problems, even the MBBS students and some of the good department students, I want to tell, that they also make the same mistake in speaking. And when you ask them how was your interview, when they come up, sir, it was good, but let's see what happens. So they didn't observe that what the problem they face, right? So then they get 6 or 6.5 hard. Why not 7+? Because there are something lacking, right? There is something lacking. And if you work on the lacking thing to make it the strongest thing, right, you will get the best. Anyhow, punctuation. First target, capitalization. Second target, subject word. Third target, noun antecedent. Fourth target, and the topics four more I am going to mention. They are going to take only around about 1 day, a day of these topics. If you just sit for that, I am going to cover. But if you cover one topic and there is punctuation today, capitalization tomorrow, this. So it is going to be covered like this time. Okay, next is your tense, no compromise in tense, right? In tense, it must be known to each single student, right? What tense I am writing and what tense I should write, right, in the essay. Either present simple, present perfect, right, like that. Okay, next is your sentence structures. In sentence, one are the kinds, the other are structures. In structures, you have simple, compound, complex, and compound complex, right? Now, further, you should be aware of it. What kind of sentence I am writing in an essay? In essay, you can write simple, compound, complex, all of them. If you write all of them, 100% best. If you can't write all of them, you should stick to only compound and simple sentences. Simple sentences, small, shorter, and compound, like having single one conjunction and but or. I would check, you would observe each single mistake in your writing, right? It would be improved. Now, next is after sentence completion, conditional sentences. Conditional. Any idea about conditional sentences? Yes, condition. Condition means condition. Yes, condition means which show any condition, like start from if or when. A sentence which starts from if or when, it shows condition, right? Could, if it could be done, I could, I should, could. Yeah. Next, in some other grammar topics which are also important. Modal verbs usage. Like many students use it wrongly. Could, would, should, where, and what is the difference? I have elaborated very briefly in my grammar only on one page, right? Would, should, the different, shall, on, this, out, to, how to use, where to use, and how to use at the exact place. Next is only preposition of time in the grammar series. Preposition of time and preposition of place, in which this is important for the whole, important for writing and speaking, the grammar, right? Now, preposition of time, ate, in, on. If you are at the party, should you use ate party or in party, right? Like this. If you are waiting in some of the in front of this gate, ate gate, in gate, on gate, ate vehicle, in these things, right? Now, any of the preposition of time, next is preposition of place, must be 100% correct. After that, examiner pleasure. After grammar portion, examiner pleasure. What does it mean? Like sometimes students think I should only write, and to get rid of it, and to just write it a little bit grammatically correct, right? In a correct way. This is not fair. Why? Because here also your pleasure matter. Like you are writing for someone else. If you are writing, I give you assignment on a daily basis. Now, if you are writing for me. Yeah. If I am not enjoying it, so it is not fair. Like if you are watching movie, why you like it? Because the actor perform actions in a sense that it should be liked by you. Same goes for writing. If you are writing, examiner should get pleasure of it, right? Now, you should not run away. And if you write it sincerely with heart, like I will write it in an impressive way, examiner will appreciate it. Right? Impressive. Okay, next is words limit. 150, your target should be 160 and 170. Not too much. Like some students think, oh, like too much means much score, right? Many bands. Now, if you write 200, let's suppose 200 for task 1, where 150 is the required score, what the problem you would face? Many mistakes. Right? Okay. So not too much, but not less than at least the targeted word. 150. I have provided you the formats of answer sheets. Same Cambridge answer sheet. And the same answer sheet, if you write from now onwards, right, you will be habitual. You will be able to directly observe how many words I am writing. Right? In Ielts exam, you will be not anxious for that. You will not be in the tension like how many I have written so far. Anyhow, and then task 2, 250. In writing exam, you cannot count the words. Here only you just observe. But right now, on the same pages, you do the answers of listening, reading, and writing. This is going to be the benefit that you directly observe here in the exam. Now, next is same answer sheets. Yes, should be followed. We discussed it. Coherence and cohesion, very, very important, 100%. Like if you are writing one paragraph, here the idea, what you are conveying, must not be having conflict with any other discussion. Like one paragraph means
One idea.
one idea. And now if you are including disadvantages, advantages, problem and solution, everything, whatever coming to mind, just write. No. This is called disturbance of coherence and cohesion. Right? There must be one sequence, one idea. Now one idea completed, examples completed, we will discuss, right? We're not worried about that. But here, the very important thing is again evaluation of your single word, either that is listening, writing, reading, speaking, to observe your mistake and label and to make them the strongest, right? Okay. Next is paraphrasing the topic. In introduction, you had observed we have in introduction of essay, you paraphrase the topic. What is mean by paraphrase?
You will write the topic in your own words.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. In your own words. Why in own words? To show an examiner that I have the ability to convey my
to understand.
to convey my own words. I understand this topic, right? So paraphrasing is very, very important in the task 2 as well as in task 1. We will discuss task 1 as well. Now, some words, some phrases must be remembered by the students before exam and must be also applied by the students. What does it mean? Connectors. Words means connectors. Like I mentioned earlier, further, moreover, in addition, additionally, logically, philosophically, religiously, politically, firstly, secondly, thirdly, right? These many connectors, at least I would provide you connector list. 15 connectors on the contrary, on the darker side, on the brighter side, on one hand in the contemporary era. These are now phrases, right? Now some phrases, why? Because these are important. Now let's suppose this any essay you take from the predictable essays, which we have predicted for the following 3 months, right? Any essay regarding science, you took any essay like this can come in the upcoming exam, let's suppose. And now one student, let's suppose you started that science. This is modern era. Science is science is just inventing a law, right? And there are some advantages and disadvantages. And the other person, let's suppose he started in this contemporary era, or in the 21st century, we are living in the advancement of technology, where science is playing a vital role. Now, what do you think if you compare both the essays? That would be the perfect, right? That essay where you would mention some of the phrases in this contemporary era, this. So this is what phrase impress the examiner. From which you start paragraph number 1. From what kind of phrase you are going to start paragraph number 2, 3, and conclusion, right? This is also very, very important, right? And then proper closing. One is starting phrases, starting. How to start, from which kind of phrase to start. And the other is closing phrase, right? How can you close your paragraph? Also very, very important. Next is task 2, personal experience. Now in task 2, in introduction paragraph, sometimes it is necessary to mention your experience, like opinion essay. If that is asking for your opinion, you should share that my opinion, in my observation, in my knowledge, in my right, I'm of the opinion, in my point of view, this. But if there is problem and solution essay, can you share your personal opinion? If there is problem and solution essay, can you say I think and my opinion? If there is problem and solution essay,
No.
good. Right now, in this task too, if personal opinion is asked, you must share. But if it is not asked and you are including it, so this is like the extra burden on exam. That's something problematic. Understanding question is very important. Next is planning, writing, and revising. Now, let's suppose 40 minutes would be. This is just a general discussion, but very important discussion, right? 40 minutes for task 2. Now, for task 2, if that is 40 minutes given to you, in that, proper planning, writing, and revising. 3 things are important. 2 minutes for brainstorming, planning, right? 2 minutes.
What should I write? Yeah.
Exactly. Next 36 minutes for writing.
Yeah.
Distribute 8 minutes. 8 minutes means 1 paragraph. And that 1 minute means 60 words or 70 words because target is to 50 words. Right? This is how sometimes students make this also. And when they make it, they make mistakes grammatically, coherence, everything, right? The problem. Because they, at least I am of the opinion, a student must write at least 18 to 20 essays with proper assessment in the classes. If you want to improve each single mistake. Right? Because when you check an essay for timing, on daily basis you can cover one mistake, 20 mistake wrong. Right? So this is then you can get 5 out of 6 bands in essay. 6 bands for task 2, right? And then you can get 7 plus. This is the way. Now, next is writing. Writing, in this we discuss how much time, how much. And the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes for revising.
Why we revising? Because we have no any remote.
No. Yes, if punctuation comma is left after any of the connector, if spelling is left mistake, you can directly make it correct, right? Some of the minor mistakes you can fix it. Okay, revising is very important. Indent each paragraph, very important. Indent means to leave half line. Indent means like suppose this is Ielts exam page in front of you, right? Now one paragraph you start from here and you close it here at here, one full stop. Now next paragraph you should not start directly from here, rather leave a half line and start from here. To make it clearly understandable where you are closing with one kind of indent. The another kind of indent means this is structure indent, and the verbal indent or the writing indent means you have a closing sentence. Closing sentence means the proper phrase to which you are closing. Introduction can be closed. This essay will elaborate this. Body 1 can be closed. We got on the conclusion many advantages are there, problems are there. Closing and then proper starting, right? The another paragraph. Starting sentence along with the gap, small gap, and closing gap starting. To make it 100% beautiful in front of the examiner. Next, you have correct place of writing. You would be given 4 pages. Task 1 would be written on first 2 pages. There you should only write task 1. What is task 1? For you people, you are academic, right? Going for education, right? For study. What is task 1? For you people. In task 1, what would be there? The question. Only mention the question. In Ielts writing task 1, what would be there?
I just writing task 1. Yes. You will the examiner the task 1 you will simply explain that chart. Yes.
Diagram. Yes. Any diagram to describe. And what would be there in task 2? Essay writing. Good. Now we will discuss in detail. But in task 1, description of graph must be written on page 1 and 2. And the essay must be written on page 3 and 4, not in incorrect places, random. Yes, that's important. Not only important, mandatory. Yes. Okay, next is clearly, legibly, neatly. What does it mean? That your writing should be clear for examiner. If you make any mistake, you should just cut it plainly, neatly, like this, right? Not like this, like this kind of way. Yes, neatly. So this is all about like these points should be 100% kept in mind. The first and the most important is this. The 5 parts, punctuation, victimization, and these 5, 100% important. But these are not tough, difficult, right? I also the recorded lectures on this and along with the notes. Either you want the hard copy, but these are
We want hard copy of the grammar.
for speaking and writing. Besides that, few of these points should be kept in mind. Words, I will provide you connector list, at least 12 connectors, 15 connectors. If you want 7.5, right? This and some phrases I mentioned. I have just shared the 7+ grade student essays with you. I will also share her result with you. Overall score of her was 8 bands, right? And in writing she got 7 bands, but there was some spelling mistake in her writing, and but because of that she got 7 bands. Otherwise she was also good. Another modules 8.5 in reading and listening, and in the speaking 8 bands. So overall 7+ is the best score, right? For USA, for Australia, in the topmost institutes want 7. So this is all about the overall the major discussion, minor discussion, right? Brief your way of writing. Yes.